Have you ever been so afraid of doing something? I mean, like, this fear is like, I keep coming up with heart stopping, but it's not what I want to say. You're so fearful of doing something that you're frozen. Your inability to move forward is so great. And all you want to do when you're faced with that fear is run and hide and forget it and put it off and pretend it doesn't exist. I've come up against that, you know. Um, I have to do cold calling, and that for me is very, very fearful. Um, I have a problem with that. I shouldn't say problem, I shouldn't say challenge. Um, because I'm not comfortable with the first initial contact when I go to first contact somebody. The first initial contact for me is really hard. I mean, it's really hard. I'm I've never been really that good at it. So I did that. I did some cold calling and faced that fear, which solidified a lesson I learned a long time ago, which was if you're scared of something, if you have this fear of doing something, your best bet is to stand and face it head on, work through it, force yourself to do it if you have to, as long as everybody's safe, nobody's getting hurt. Force yourself to face this fear. Because if you don't, it's just going to turn around and bite you in the ass harder later. It's just going to come back at you harder later, and it's going to be even worse. So if you can face it and get it over with, it's going to go so much easier. And then the feeling you get from doing that, the pride, the feeling of, oh my God, I did this. I accomplished this. This was amazing. And it wasn't that hard. It wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be, right? So, my advice, face the fear. It's kind of like when you go to tell a lie. You're like, oh, it's just a little white lie. What happens when you tell that little white lie instead of being honest and upfront to begin with? It snowballs. That white lie snowballs and it gets bigger and bigger and until it's just taken over everything, right? And it's just gotten away from you. When in the first place, the best thing to do was be open and honest and tell the truth. Yeah, the truth is going to hurt. You're going to have to face the consequences of whatever it is you're doing, right? But in the end, it hurts less than if you were to tell that white lie and then try to keep up with that lie. So if you face your fear to begin with, you stand up, face your fear. I'm not one to run from anything. Um, call it stupidity, call it bravery. I don't know what it is. I just know that if there's something bothering me or something that I have to do and I'm terrified to do it, I'm scared, I've got that fear in me, I'm not running. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to face it and I'm going to kick its ass. Because the fact that I know it's going to come back and hit me harder later. So the best thing to do is stand there, face it, get it over with. Just do it. It's not going to hurt. Well, depending on what you're facing. But for the most part, it's you're just going to come out a stronger, more confident, a better person on the other side. You know, if you have that and you face that fear, what are you gaining? You're gaining more freedom because you've knocked down one barrier that's keeping you locked in. You're gaining confidence. Confidence you were lacking in something you obviously needed. confidence in. Growth. So much growth from that. Life lessons you're learning. There's so much to gain when you stand up, face your fears, head on, work through it. You're stronger than what you think you are. You just have to stick to it and do it. So, I've decided the whole cold calling thing I have to do, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna rock at it. I'm gonna be, excuse the language, a freaking cold call queen. I'm going to be so amazing at cold calls, get so good at them, that I'm booking appointments with almost every call I make. Why? Because I deserve to be the best me I can be. If not for somebody else, then for me. And because the people I am cold calling don't know the beautiful opportunity that awaits them or that I'm offering them until they're willing to listen. And then I can not only get to better myself, I'm allowing myself to help somebody else better themselves. There's no greater gift than that. Loving yourself. Share the love. Sorry. The more I get comfortable with this, the more you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, so weird. Yes, I am. And I embrace my weirdness, girl, because I deserve it. I am amazing. So, go out there. Face your fear. You're only going to thank yourself for it later, because it is so exhilarating when you face that fear and you overcome it and you're like, oh, this was so incredibly amazing. I did it, and it's done. And whoa, the next time I do this, piece of cake. Because I've done it, I know it's not scary. Piece of cake. You rock. Go out and do this.